What's up, my friends? It is Danny Gallows, of course, once again back for vlog number 2 for today. And after a little bit of a stressful morning there, a little bit of a rant, letting you guys know my opinion on that whole ordeal this morning. Don't want to get back into it. But now I'm back for a second vlog today, and it's a beautiful day out today. Once again, get the day off of work, so I'm catching up on a bunch of stuff that I need to do for my channels and just taking it easy. And of course, the neighbors upstairs, have decided to stay in on this beautiful summer day and make a bunch of noise and stuff like that. So always fun to deal with noise from the upstairs neighbors. I don't know if you guys have ever lived, beneath noisy people. It's hard. It's really hard to live beneath noisy people. Just people who are just not considerate, of the hours that they do things and the frequency of which they do it, and the loudness of the noise that it's creating. They're not aware of the noise that they're creating. I can't tell you how many times we've tried to notify people to notify them. You know what I'm saying? That like the walls are paper thin. All this stuff. So never seems to make a difference. So I've learned to just kind of get used to it and put my headphones in from time to time. But what can you do? You can't do anything. Hopefully I'll be out of this place soon and into a new place. Start saving again, get some savings. Get comfortable anyway, and then I can move into a new place. But for right now, it'll do. And for today, guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I've wanted to talk to you guys about for a long time, and that is why I don't have a license anymore. A couple of you guys who are close watchers of my channel, any of my channels really, will sometimes I mention not having a car and not taking myself around in a car. I take like public transportation everywhere. I walk everywhere. And there's a story behind that, there's kind of I guess you could call it a neat story, but it was scary at the time, and really stressful at the time. But it turned out to kind of be one of those blessing in disguise kind of situations, I guess you could say. So obviously I've had my license, just like everyone else since I was 16 years old. I really, really love driving. I always get standard cars instead of automatics. I love to drive a stick shift. I've driven a stick since high school. I'm very good at it. I love to just kind of like, race. I love to race around the back roads. When I was like 17, 18 years old, I had this 1988 Honda Accord hatchback, and the thing was like a little race car. It was really low to the ground. It had a short throw in the gearbox, nice easy clutch, smooth clutch. And it was awesome. So I've always loved driving, and ever since then I've always been one of those people that just kind of like got in a car and turned on the music and just kind of went, and drove, and driving has become kind of second nature to me in a lot of ways. So anyway, to make a very long story short, after my long history of driving and my love for driving, my passion for driving and everything, I believe it was in 2008 when I was working over at a nursing home up here in Portland. I got pulled over in a car that I believe wasn't insured or didn't have a sticker or something like that, and I got a ticket. And then a couple weeks later, I didn't pay the ticket or anything, and then a couple weeks later it happened again, and then I got like a bigger fine, and I didn't pay those tickets, and so I think what happened is my license got suspended, and then like a year or two later, I got pulled over, and I had a suspended license, and I had to actually go to jail. I actually had to spend like a night in jail, right? Because my license was suspended. So after I got out of jail and everything like that, I still had fines to pay and my license was still suspended, and instead of taking care of that, I just kind of kept driving. I stayed off the road for a couple of months, but then I kind of just kept driving. And what happened was, I think it was maybe 4 years ago now, or maybe even 5 years ago now or so, I was driving around on New Year's night. Not because, I was partying or anything, but because I actually had a job. I actually had a job. I was out there collecting signatures, I was driving people around, and what happened is I had just got done dropping someone off and I was going home for the night, and of course, cops out looking to tag people, looking to fill their quota, and I just happened to be one of the people that they nabbed that night, and of course my license was suspended, and back to jail I went again, and this time for a little bit longer, and I still got bailed out and everything, but then I owed people money and everything, right? And it was a really, really terrible, stressful situation, and for anyone out there looking to learn from just that part of my story, my advice to you guys is always take care of your stuff. Like, don't ever think that you can get away with stuff, because I'm living proof that you can't get away with stuff. I mean, obviously, you can get away with stuff, there's always a possibility that cops aren't going to pull you over, but then again, that's exactly what I thought. That is exactly what I thought. And then bam, there I was in jail twice. They got me twice. Just out of the blue, I wasn't even doing anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? Just completely out of the blue. So always take care of your stuff. Make sure that you have your tickets paid, you have all your fines straightened out. If your license is suspended, find out how to get it unsuspended. Make sure that everything's cleared up before you get back on the road, because it will always come back around to get you like it did to me. And most people would kind of see this as like a detrimental situation, and I did for a while, because I couldn't pay the fines. You know what I'm saying? Like, after in order to get my license back, I was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We're talking court fines, court fees and all that stuff, and fines to the state, right? And after a while, after paying hundreds of dollars, I just kind of stopped. I was like, look, that's it. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't have any more money to give you guys. Like, I'm just not going to sit here and give you guys hundreds of dollars. That's all I make. I live paycheck to paycheck. If I'm giving you guys hundreds of dollars, I can't ever do that. I can't ever skip a month where I don't pay rent or I don't pay food. That was my situation at the time, and I just couldn't pay for it. So obviously at that point, most people would be really, really stressed out. They have to get their licenses back, they have to drive, they have to get to work. Well, I wasn't in one of those situations. I kind of sat back for a minute and took that time to assess the situation. I was like, wait a minute, well, hold on a second. Let me take a look at exactly where I am right now. Do I need my car? Do I even need my license? Yeah, I use my license to drive around, but I don't use it to get to work. I didn't need my car to get to work. I still don't need my car to get to work. I always take public transportation when I can. That's always been the case, right? So it's I don't need my car to get to work. I only use my car to drive around and go out west sometimes, but other times I'm usually getting rides from my best friend who also goes out west and who also goes on adventures and hikes and stuff like that. So I'll just go with him. So what do I need my license for, and what do I need my car for? Because think about it. Cars, gas-powered cars, horrible for the environment. Roads are horrible, which causes damage to cars. Then you have to get cars fixed, repairs. Then you have insurance to pay, right? It's suddenly I didn't have that burden anymore. Suddenly, and gas, right? How could I forget gas, right? Gas to pay for constantly, right? Suddenly, I didn't have this burden anymore. Suddenly, I was free of my car. I was free of my license. I didn't have a car to pay for anymore, gas to pay for anymore, repairs to pay for anymore. I didn't have to worry about getting into accidents anymore, because I'd been in plenty of accidents in my life that weren't my fault. From the age of 16, a couple of weeks after I got my driver's license, some old lady T-boned me. Bam! Coming out of the library, right after I got my license. So I've never been a fan of driving, and that's another reason why I'm happy not to have my license and that I don't personally drive anymore. Because, the thing is, I know I'm an excellent driver, but that's not what, and I know that maybe I could, pass out behind the wheel, miraculously and then get in an accident, but that's not what scares me. Other people on the road, that's what scares me. You can put trust in yourself, you can be completely sober, but you never know what's coming over that hill. You never know what's coming around that bend. You can never trust other people on the road. So I kind of stepped back and I assessed my whole situation. I was like, wait a minute, this is a blessing in disguise. Why am I about to sit here and pay these, hundreds of dollars back to the state? How about I just let my license expire? How about I just let the state take my license? I can take my car, I can sell it, I can put a couple of grand in the bank, and then I don't have to pay for my car or gas or anything having to do with my car anymore. And I can just take public transportation, because public transportation's easy. It's everywhere. There's a bus on every corner. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why? I live right in the city. Why would I have a car? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm probably always going to live right here, right in the city. You know what I'm saying? And even if I lived in other places, I would always take public transportation. So I kind of like, and now, years later, after not having a license for all this time, guess what? I'm completely fine. Do I miss driving? Yeah. Do I want to get back behind the wheel someday? Yeah, definitely. But, it'll be in like a race car or something like that, like on a racetrack, in like a stunt car or something like that. I'm not really interested in going driving. I go driving with my friends and stuff like that all the time. That's fine for me. But I don't need to personally go driving anymore. And how has it been for, all these years without a license? Like I said, it's been great. It's been fantastic. I use public transportation. It takes me everywhere. I let other people drive me around. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's great. I don't have to do anything. And public transportation, at least where I am, is cheap. It's $1.25 for the bus around here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I wanted to share this story with you guys because, I'm not really behind licenses anymore. I think that in another 10 years or so, licenses are pretty much going to be obsolete. Self-driving cars are coming. They're already here. It may be in another 5 years that licenses are obsolete and public transportation completely takes over everything. So the way I look at it, like, I'm not really interested in getting back behind the wheel because pretty soon we're all going to have our own personal transports, like 5-10 years from now, and nobody's going to need licenses. Because cars are dangerous. Probably the biggest point of this argument is that cars are dangerous. I mentioned this just before, about how you can't trust other people. Do you guys know how many people are killed in car accidents every year? Thousands and thousands of people all around the world, just car accidents. You know what I'm saying? Like, that it's not, it's not the car's fault. It's the people's fault. So let's take the people, right, out of the equation. You know what I'm saying? Let's set up a grid of cars. You know what I'm saying? Let's get some Tron action going on in here. Like I joke, of course, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like we need to get people out from behind the wheel. It's the people that can't be trusted, and I think that self-driving cars are really kind of like the wave of the future. And like I said, I'm perfectly happy being without a license and waiting for that wave of the future to come. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about the whole situation. How about you guys? Have you guys been through similar situations that I have, and with your license or getting pulled over by the police, suspended license, jail time? That's another thing I'm going to be talking about in one of my vlogs, my jail time, what I experienced while I was there, and why I just, it basically scared me away from that part of the system and society very badly. And it's part of why I stayed off the road. The cops, the second time they brought me in the jail, they told me to stay off the road. I said okay, and here I've been ever since. But yeah, go ahead and share all of your stories, guys, down below if this resonates with any of you. And I will see you guys back for the next vlog, which will be tomorrow, of course. So until the next time we meet, guys, take care, and I'll see you later.